Hey, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back to the LWN Network and Headline Hits. Once again, I'm your host, Tammy Nation, here every Monday through Thursday, noon Eastern Standard Time on X Live, Rumble Live, and here on YouTube as well. We're still working on our Facebook. So I hope everybody had a great weekend. A couple of notes before we head into the actual Headline Hit stories. Our new Facebook, we are making that. We did that this weekend, but they require you to wait like 48 hours or so before you get approved to be able to do another professional Facebook page. Unfortunately, our original Facebook page is going to be taken down because we weren't able to retrieve that. So we're going to have to head out and reach out to Facebook and say, yeah, we can't do the things that was suggested that we do. So let's go ahead and just shut the page down. But we will definitely keep you guys posted when we get a new Facebook page up and running and we get approval. Also, we are going to have a show tonight. I know you guys like the night shows and we can do them. So tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it will be LW, Jeff B, and myself heading up another show for you guys tonight. And I hope you can join us. We'll set out a thumbnail to make sure to remind you guys. So there will be indeed a show tonight. Those of you who joined us on our Saturday MTV show, it was pretty amazing and fun. We had great conversation in there. If you haven't joined us, you ought to try it. We are on Rumble with an MTV style video page, and we have live chat in there, and we just listen to songs. We reminisce about old times and growing up. We have a great conversation. It is on Rumble only, and the mods do drop the links throughout this newscast, so you guys are able to find those. And you can also go to my Facebook page, Tammy Nation. Mine is up and running, and I do have links there for all our different shows and such. So thanks for joining us again this morning. Let's go ahead and get headed on to the headline hits right after this short video. I'll be right back. So first up, we have this morning, President Trump on Sunday, busy weekend again, called for the person or persons who operated Joe Biden's Autopen to be jailed. And you did hear that right. Hopefully, Act Blue is going to be as well the Democrats' illegal scam to use to raise money, including not allowed foreign contributions, is being looked at by authorities, you guys. The Dems only know how to win by cheating, Trump said, something which they do better than any group or party in history. But now with their terrible policies and candidates, and with people like Crooked Adam Schiff, who demanded a full pardon from Sleepy Joe leading the way, it's almost impossible to reach their money goals. The USA is wise to these scoundrels and crooks, he said. Also, why did the Autopen give Schiff a pardon? Biden knew nothing about it. Who operated the Autopen? That is the biggest question being asked in D.C. They almost destroyed our country. They should be put in jail. Trump posted this on his Truth Social. He said the Oversight Project has gathered every document they could find with Biden's signature. All used the same Autopen signature except for the announcement that he was dropping out of the 2024 election. Last month, President Trump declared Joe Biden's Autopen pardons invalid. Who was in charge of Joe Biden's Autopen? The Oversight Project pointed out that Neera Tanden was the White House staff secretary when Joe Biden Autopen pardons from a golf course in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Neera Tanden was a frequent mention in the leaked Podesta emails released by WikiLeaks. Tanden was one of the most vocal Russiagate conspiracy theorists. She not only attacked Republicans while she was working for Hillary Clinton, but also after the Senator Bernie Sanders and his supporters, she went after him. Last month, the Oversight Project revealed 6 criminals were pardoned by Biden's Autopen on December 30th, 2022, while Joe Biden was vacationing and golfing in St. Croix. According to the New York Post, Steve Nelson, a key Biden aide, may have exceeded their authority by unilaterally determining what documents to robo-sign. So I think that's pretty big news here. And I know people say things don't happen and nothing's going to happen, but the Trump administration is on top of this. And I think we had a lot of blockades because the people that were blockading it, like they are now, didn't want to be caught. So I'm looking forward to what's going to be uncovered in this and start seeing people getting cuffed for the things that they have done to this country. Next up, we also had President Donald Trump has signed an executive order titled Advancing Artificial Intelligence Education for American Youth to create new opportunities focused on AI in K through 12 schools. Now, personally, I'm just not a big fan of AI. However, I understand we have to be behind the 8 ball with this and lead the way. If AI is going to be around in this world, we have to make sure that we're on the forefront of that in this country. And I guess teaching kids that and having them experience that is part of it as well. Just because we don't like it or understand it or agree with it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. So Trump's executive order seeks to establish AI literacy as a national education priority in the U.S. schools to ensure the United States remains a global leader in this technological revolution. The White House announced this last week. We must provide our nation's youth with opportunities to cultivate the skills and understanding necessary to use and create the next generation of AI technology, the Trump administration did state. AI is rapidly transforming the modern world, driving innovation across industries, enhancing productivity, and reshaping the way we live and work. Also, AI competency to equip our students with the foundational knowledge and skills necessary to adapt and thrive in an increasingly digital society. So rather than shunning AI or limiting the technology to specialized elective studies, the Trump administration does seek to transform education by implementing AI courses throughout the core curriculum, ensuring U.S. students become AI literate no matter what their career path, as AI is expected to someday be integrated into every facet of society. Early learning and exposure prepares students to become active and responsible participants in the workforce of the future and nurturing the next generation of American AI innovators, which will propel our nation to new heights of scientific and economic achievement, the White House said. And you know, it's true with technology when you have people like us that are on the older scale trying to get used to technology, even computers. We think back when computers were started, then cell phones and how to do the different things on cell phones and all these different avenues and apps that we have that we try to maneuver at our age because technology started later. I mean, we come with the phones that you hit the button and you had the cord, right? So our kids, we look at them and they're way far advanced at us, and they always make fun of us when we need help with technology. So even though I'm not thrilled with AI, I do agree with this technology and this that he is putting forth because he is keeping American children first and putting us first. The gory details of what AI is going to do and all that remains to be seen, and he did put that in. But we'll see what comes of this and what kind of programs they develop in that. Next up, this is bothersome to me as well, and I'm sure it will be to you as well. The Washington state has become the first state to recognize Islamic holidays as official state holidays here in the United States. According to the Daily Wire, the state of Washington, which doesn't officially recognize Easter or Yom Kippur as a state holiday, they are recognizing these Islamic holidays now. So Democratic Governor Bob Ferguson did sign the legislation into law this past month. No other state currently accepts these as official holidays. This is an example of diversity pending on the tradition of the founders who believed in biblical values and worshiped accordingly. The move to add these holidays was made by Senator Yasmin Trudeau, Rep. Osman Saludin, and sponsored by the companion bill they put in. The Democratic Governor Bob Ferguson was bragging about his latest innovation. He said this bill is historic. Washington is now the first state to recognize 2 Islamic holidays as state holidays. Foreign values are infiltrating the West as a result of the Muslim migration. We have already seen the consequences of this throughout Europe. We can hope that America will not continue to go down the route of Europe. Mass Muslim migration has consequences. Fortunately, President Trump is doing his part to reverse this. one of the writers of this article said. Mass migration and immigration to open borders have consequences. We must continue to press our politicians, encourage them to support deportations and end chain migration and the visa lottery. So President Trump is out there ending all these open borders, all these policies that these radical people have put in. Now, the DEMS and local reps and government must encourage to do the same. All these DEMS, all these local reps, that's why we say get involved locally. You should have your piece and have your say. If you're cool with the Islamic holidays being recognized, but the other American holidays, Easter and Yom Kippur, you're okay with that not being recognized, I don't know why you're in the United States of America, to put it bluntly, because the citizenry must remain vigilant and push back against the change of the core values here in America. It is not okay to shun Easter and other holidays here and then bring in foreign country holidays. To me, that's just simply wrong. Next up, we have Trump says he's bringing Columbus Day back from the ashes. So this is a good move. And reinstating holidays under the same rules, dates, and locations. So on Sunday, once again this weekend, he had a very busy weekend. He stated that he's bringing back Columbus Day. It's been a subject of controversy and outrage from leftists back from the ashes that they put Columbus Day in. The holiday, which celebrates our nation's history and the discovery of the New World, has been under attack by leftists for years. Instead, crazed, self-loving liberals celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day to honor Native Americans who were conquered by the Europeans who rightfully laid claim to the Americas. They smear Columbus as a maniac and a killer who stole the land and celebrated the godless cannibals he encountered. Meanwhile, these people want barbaric illegal aliens to pillage American towns and cities, rape women, and steal our nearly 250-year-old American way of life. This is what Trump stated. He said, however, Christopher is going to make a major comeback, lambasting wokeness and announcing that he is hereby reinstating Columbus Day under the same rules, the same dates and locations it has had for all the many years and decades before. The president decreed Democrats who did everything possible to destroy Christopher Columbus, his reputation, and all of the Italians that love him so much. In a true socialist post, he said, I'm bringing Columbus Day back from the ashes. The Democrats did everything possible to destroy Christopher Columbus, his reputation, all the Italians that love him so much. They tore down statues and put up nothing but woke, or even worse, nothing at all. So they didn't replace it with anything good, or they replaced it with something woke, but they tore down his statues. Well, you'll be happy to know, he said, Christopher is going to make a major comeback. I'm hereby reinstating Columbus Day. So that's another example, if you think about it, of a bullet we dodged in the last election with Kamala Harris on the ballot, because remember, she previously attacked European explorers, saying they ushered in a wave of devastation, violence, stealing land, and widespread disease. So big controversy there on what we are celebrating, what we aren't celebrating, and how Trump is going to try to right the wrongs of this country. They want to wipe out our 250-year history that we've had, and that isn't acceptable. You lose your history, you lose who you are. And people generations down will not know who they are or what this great country was. And remember all the people that fought to have this great country be what it is today. So we also have President Trump has ordered the Justice Department to investigate the Democratic Party's top fundraising platform. In an executive order signed late last week, directed to Attorney General Pam Bondi, she was ordered to investigate allegations that Republicans have raised that Act Blue allows illegal campaign donations. We've talked about that here on Headline Hits and through the channel and the different shows about all the numerous campaign donations that were illegal with Act Blue and all the money that was filtered into it. Democrats who anticipated they would be targeted condemned the move. Of course they did. And Act Blue, and called it an oppressive use of power by the White House. The Trump administration's and GOP's targeting of Act Blue is part of their brazen attack on democracy in America, they said. Act Blue said SAID, today's escalation by the White House is blatantly unlawful and needs to be seen for what it is. Act Blue said it would pursue all legal avenues to protect and defend itself. Act Blue will continue its mission and work undeterred and uninterrupted, providing a safe, secure fundraising platform for the millions of grassroots donors who rely on us. But Trump's order directs Bondi, in consultation with the Treasury Department, to investigate allegations that online fundraising platforms, specifically Act Blue, have been used by some to make straw or dummy contributions for foreign contributions to political candidates and committees. We've been saying this for a long time. The findings of the investigation are going to be reported back within 180 days, according to the order. 180 days seems like a long time, but I am sure that there is tons for them to investigate, and it's going to take a while because, as we say, there's always a process. You have to find it, you have to have proof of it, and then you can expose it, and you can then press charges or do what you need to do from that point on. Just because we think we know it and we've seen some stuff, we still have a law and rule of law to follow. Up next, we have President Trump has had a few things to say on social media about the tariffs that have been a big controversy in this country with the left and the right, stating that when the tariffs cut in many people's incomes, taxes are going to be substantially reduced, maybe even completely eliminated. Focus will be on the people making less than $200,000 a year. So also a massive number of jobs are already being created with new plants and factories currently being built in our plans. Will be also for new factories being built, pouring money, jobs, and production into this country. He said it will be a bonanza for America. The external revenue service is happening. So the impromptu talk with Trump also had with Zelensky at the Vatican. We saw that they both attended the Pope's funeral, along with many other people. President Marone was there. Julian Assange was there. Biden was there. But we saw that it's going to be an infamous photo at the Vatican where Trump is sitting right across from Zelensky inside the Vatican. And he said that they had an impromptu conversation. He said that it went well and expressed some sympathy for Zelensky, saying he's now approaching negotiations with a calmer and better attitude. He has now come around to Trump's position that Crimea is already lost and it will be a price for peace. So as we last spoke about Zelensky, he was all upset. He didn't want to admit and give up Crimea. And Trump said he realized now that is the price for peace. So some kind of movement was made at the Pope's funeral afterwards in the Vatican. I know that Zelensky came out and had just a little bit to say. He didn't want to give too many details about it, but that's kind of good news right there. To me, it's also good news about the tariffs, that people are putting fear out there about the tariffs and saying that he is going after the little people, not the big people, that his multi-millionaire and billionaire friends won't be affected. But he says that they are going to focus on people making less than $200,000 a year. And that represents me and you and so many middle-class Americans. That tax break would do a huge amount of good for each and every worker in this country that makes less than $200,000 a year. It's going to do so much more for our families with that extra income coming each paycheck. And let's keep an eye on that and hope that that comes to fruition. And then last up today, we have to give a heads up because tomorrow Trump is going to be in Michigan, Macomb County, to celebrate his first 100 days in office. He's going to have a celebration rally. And it is an early milestone, which is a tradition for them to go over their progress that was measured against campaign promises that a president has made. It is a day early than his 100 days in office, but basically it's going to talk about celebrating what has been accomplished, what has been said, what has been promised. And the rally is going to be held tomorrow at 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the Macomb Community College in Warren. And it's open to the public like they all are, but you do need to get tickets online. So those of you who are in Michigan and want to go online, get your tickets and head out. That's my old stomping grounds, actually, Macomb County College. So I'm looking forward to hear that. I want to see the comparison of what he promised and what he's accomplished. You know, with this administration so far, things have been moving in lightning speed. There have been 2 judges that were arrested over the weekend as well. I know that we've been spending a lot of time talking about the judges and the blockades they've been putting against Donald Trump and his administration, but 2 judges for blocking things, and one was holding an illegal. I did the report middle of last week about a judge that stepped down because he was found with an illegal in his house and they arrested the illegal alien. So 2 judges did get arrested. There are supposedly more arrests coming down. We've been promised online on interviews with Trump's administration, some of his people, as one secretary who said that justice is coming, that it is a process to follow. I know that we could all name names that we just want to see handcuffed and thrown behind bars, that we feel that we know they did bad things. But like I said, there is due process for everybody. Everybody's innocent until proven guilty. My thing is, I'm very happy that we're seeing movement. We're seeing this administration taking hold of the things that were so pushed aside and buried, and censorship and everything else, and nobody was held accountable. And you just have to look at, I know that it is normal for presidents to sign executive orders and give pardons and all that, but when Biden came in and he just deleted so many executive orders that hurt this country, that was a big red flag. And then as he departed as the president of the United States, even though they do give pardons upon departure, to pardon people way back from 2014 who haven't been accused of anything yet, or didn't, aren't in the justice system as of yet because of things they did, as another telltale sign of what is going on, and was very suspicious. So I think we're going to see movement in that, as Trump said, when he's focusing his administration on the Autopen and who had authority to sign it, why did they sign certain documents at a certain time, a certain way, and why did they sign pardons for certain people at the time that they did when they didn't commit any crimes, supposedly. So I think that there's a lot of fires in the oven that we have to keep track of. And each and every day, we're just going to plug away at it and hit at it for you guys and try to keep you posted with the latest information as best we can. So before I get out of here, once again, thanks for joining me. Also, keep in mind, we will have a show tonight. If you didn't catch it at the beginning of the show, LW, Jeff B, and myself will be on at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and have a show for you guys tonight. I hope you guys can join us there, and I will see you tonight. Take care. God bless. Have a great rest of your Monday. See you tonight.